Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Storm and Rich, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is your girl's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give is a tug and release on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. She has been fitted with her very own training collar, and you're going to be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now, she is sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done, and the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and the command is Storm, heel. Now at this point, she has a job to do, and that is to maintain pace with you on walks. You should be able to walk at a leisurely pace without the dog dragging you or pulling you or lunging out. She should be aware of where you are, and she should match pace with you. When you stop your feet, she has been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So when you're walking with her and you're out in public, you should have her walking right next to you. If she sees a distraction, keep your feet moving. Don't stop. Tell her no, heel, and continue to move. The next command that we're going to demonstrate for you is the sit, stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and we do not use her name. The long sit stay, when you're practicing at home, you can practice right indoors, and you can practice all of this indoors. You're going to start out at about 30 seconds, and you're going to up your time to 3 minutes. When Rich returns back to her, he's going to walk all the way around her, returning all the way back around to heel position where they started. He may say a little something to her as praise, but you don't want to get her amped up, and then she takes off heeling again. So everything is very low key. You don't want to, be amping her up until you know how to get her back under control. And this is going to be a process that we're going to be working on with you. Stay. Rich leaves her again in another sit, stay. And her job is to develop focus and self-control. And we have a ton of distractions going on out here right now. There are birds everywhere, and there's squirrels running up and down the trees, and she's maintaining that. Rich is this time going to call her in. This is the come on command, and she should come in nicely and sit. And then she returns back around to heel position and back sitting. Very nice. We usually don't video this late in the day, and I never realized that, I guess they're getting ready for bed because they're everywhere. And in spite of that, she's behaving very well. Stay. Rich leaves her in another sit, stay. He turns to face her when he's at the other end of the leash, and he calls her out of that. She comes right in and sits, and then she goes back to heel and then back sitting. Everything starts and stops at that heel position. Now the next exercises that we're going to be demonstrating for you are the down commands. These are a little bit more difficult. And we bring a blanket out for these young ladies that have no fur on their tummies because the ground is cold. So we want her to be comfortable, so we bring her up to the blanket. Rich is going to use his left open palm straight down toward the ground, and the one-word command to down and stay. That is your down from a heel position, and she's smelling the wildlife. But she's staying. So this is great because we couldn't really have much more distraction out here than we have right now. When Rich returns back to her, he walks all the way around her, returning all the way back to heel position where they started. And at this point, she has to get another command, and Rich takes off heeling with her again, and we will demonstrate that down from a heel position again for you. She's really a sweet girl. Unfortunately, some of these pitties are very, very distracted. They're very prey-driven. Down and stay. No. We have worked her around another dog, too. Stay. And she has learned to behave. Now she's getting goofy. So now when she starts, she's playing right now. So when she starts to do that to you, you see exactly what Rich did. He told her no, he got her right up out of that. He didn't get into an argument with her. He returned her right back to heel position. He heeled her right out of that. He's taking her back to the blanket, repeating the command. And sometimes, you know, that's not a bad thing. Our videos tend to be too perfect, and then when an owner gets into trouble at home, they don't know what to do. And so I'm glad that she gave you a little part of what to do. Now this time Rich will call her out of this. And he got her back on track beautifully. So now you know how to do that at home if she starts being silly. And if there's anybody she's going to try to take advantage of, it's you. So, and we know this, and that's why we're always here to help you. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone and say, I need help. Stay. Rich leaves her in a sit stay, and this is your down from a distance. You're going to use your right hand to give the command, and she drops right into a down from a distance. I think that with all of this going on back here today, Storm has done a beautiful job of demonstrating her formal on-leash obedience commands. We can discuss all kinds of good stuff when we come to bring her home to you, and we want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.